Hello guys and welcome. Today I will share my story how I screwed up my phone with the new Android update and why if you have an LG phone you should not upgrade it to Android 10 or 11 if you have an older version, because it was the mistake that I did and I don't want you to do that same mistake. So stay tuned for this video, and if you find this helpful, give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos, and let's get started. Okay, so what happened to my phone? Originally I had the Android 8.0 on it, then I upgraded it to the Android 9.0. It was working just fine, and then when I upgraded to 10.0, and as soon as I went to my camera app, I noticed there's something different about it. They have upgraded the native camera app like this. Instead of having like an excellent camera that was before on this LG G7 phone, they have upgraded it and now it became like really poor. So instead of having an excellent camera app that was before in an older Android version, they have upgraded and now it's terrible. The few things that I noticed about this new camera app, well, first of all, there's way less settings you can set up the camera. If you go to the settings menu, you can see only this many settings, and it's way less than there was before, but this is not even the major thing they have upgraded. Another thing I noticed is that the color accuracy started to become way worse. For example, if you're trying to focus from bright to dark, it doesn't focus as good and it cannot pick up as good colors. So for example, you have either too much bright or it's too dark, and I know it was working fine before, so this is why I can tell that this is actually an upgrade problem. Another thing I noticed is actually the autofocus. It's still good because it's got a laser autofocus on this LG phone, but it doesn't work as sharp anymore. So it's taking way longer time to focus now, and it doesn't work as good as it was working before. So this is another software issue that I found. Well, while all these things are bad, they're not super dramatic and you can probably still live with it, and you can find the ways around it because, well, you can still set it up manually. It's still gonna cause you a little bit of problems, but it still works. While the main thing why I said I screwed up my phone with this new Android update is the video mode. And this is what really has upset me, because this phone has a really great camera in video mode, and this is what I bought this phone for. I want to be using it to take videos because it has an excellent camera. It can shoot 4K 60 frames per second, and it was working great. It was working flawlessly. And now when I have upgraded it to the Android 10.0, it has messed up this native camera app. And what I mean by that, when you go to the video mode, it automatically applies like 1.5 times crop that wasn't there before. And you might know that most of the phones and most cameras that shoot in 4K, when you switch from Full HD to 4K, they do apply the crop, because 4K has a lot of pixels in one frame. And if you're using the full area of the sensor in your camera or your phone, it does require a lot of work for the processor to process all the pixels on this 4K footage. So what they decided to do, they actually crop the sensor and only take a little portion of the sensor. Let's say they crop it by 1.5 or 1.6, and this way they only work with the small portion of the sensor, so the processor is not working as hard and it doesn't create heat, so it doesn't overheat the device. And I think this was probably the concern for why they did this, but I don't care because it was working fine before, and even with having 4K 60 frames per second, it wasn't overheating that much and it didn't need that crop at all. And now it's really useless because it has that super large crop, so when you're trying to shoot like something close up, it's gonna show you a much closer image, and you're gonna have to put your camera much further, which is really inconvenient because you're not getting that wide field of view anymore. As I said, on Android 8.0 and even on Android 9.0, I believe, it still had that same camera without having a crop, but with Android 10.0 they have introduced that same crop. And this is the same thing I have on this newer phone. This one came with Android 10.0 installed from the factory, and then I have upgraded to 11.0, and it does have exactly the same problem. It has that 1.5 or 1.6 crop. I haven't really calculated how much crop it does have. It does have that crop, so I thought this is normal for the 4K. But what's even worth about this upgrade for LG G7 is that this crop is not only applicable to 4K footage, it's also applicable to the Full HD footage. So it doesn't matter if you shoot it in 4K or if you shoot it in Full HD, it still applies that 1.5 crop, which is terrible. Like, you don't even need the crop in Full HD. So I don't know what were they thinking when they applied this changes to this new native camera app with new Android upgrade. If you haven't done the upgrade yet, and if you have like Android 8.0 or 9.0, I strongly suggest that you don't upgrade, because you're gonna screw up your camera and you're gonna regret it, because it's just not worth it. And another thing I noticed, that when they implemented that crop, the picture quality has become way worse too. So what I think, they actually have decreased the bitrate of the footage as well. So it's way poor quality video, so it doesn't require much processing so that your phone doesn't overheat. So it's up to you if you do want to upgrade to a newer version. You know, new is not always the best, and this is what I figured out a few times, because you might have noticed that too. When you get something new, it's not actually better, it became worse. A lot of things like that, you know, so I decided I'm gonna share it with you, because I don't want anybody else to get that same frustration if they upgrade their phone. And as you know, you cannot downgrade your phone if you have upgraded it, so this is a real problem. And another issue that they should address, because there's got to be an option of downgrading your phone in case you don't like the new upgrade, because you cannot test that upgrade until you install it. So what if you don't like it? Well, then you're gonna be stuck with it. So yeah, this is it. So my final thoughts are, if you want to upgrade your phone, well, you got to be considering that it's gonna mess up your native camera app and some other apps as well. I haven't really looked if there's any other issues, but this is my main issue, because the phone that I got here, it's used for my video, and now it's not going to be used for my video anymore, because it's just going to be useless. So these were just my thoughts, and I was just sharing my experience. If you find it helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.